Fellow plant lover, today I'm spilling the goods on a plant that you need. It's gorgeous, glossy, and easy as can be to grow. The plant that I'm talking about is the Raindrop Peperomia, which you probably figured out from the title. Also known as the raindrop plant. The botanical name is Peperomia Polybotrya. And let's see, I'm going to go through the highlights of the care here. There will be more details in the blog post, which will be in the description box below, right below here where it says more. You can click there. You'll find the link there. It'll be on our website, joyousgarden.com, and also it'll be in the first comment too. Now, if you're watching this right when it comes out or soon after, the blog post is going to post about a week after, but stay tuned for it because it will have more information in it. So, hi, I'm Nell. Welcome or welcome back. So if you like videos about plants and gardening both indoors and outdoors, then you are in the right place. I just wanted to do the intro. We're going to go inside and meet the star of the show soon, but it's just it's still very hot, but very nice out. And this back here is my aloe vera plant. It's a big one. It just got a new pot last year. I did a video about that, and needless to say, it gives me lots of gel. So here's the beauty staring right at you. Ooh, gorgeous. Now this is a tabletop plant. It's billed as a small plant, but I wouldn't call it small. Mine is over 2 feet wide by about 2 feet tall. And the growth rate is moderate. For me, I live in a hot, sunny climate, so sunshine is not, and I have a house that has a lot of windows, so that encourages plants to grow more for you. I've read that it is a slower grower, but anyway, it's in the slow to moderate range. And what is the big draw of this plant? Of course, it is the gorgeous, glossy, heart-shaped foliage that's just a standout. It reminds me, and I'm sure other people, a little bit of the Chinese money plant. So from time to time now, I'm going to do a little show and tell of other plants, how they're doing, whatever. And this is my philodendron silver sword, also known as silver queen. And it was trailing down and not doing very well. And I got these, I think I showed these in my Amazon haul. And I put these stakes in and I staked it up, and it's doing much better. It's growing better. It looks a lot better. So happy with that. The only thing is it's in need of a bigger pot now and a taller trellis. So I thought I'd cover light or exposure in the spot where it grows in so you can see. It grows next to a picture window that is actually a north-facing window, and you can see a little bit of light on the golden pothos down below. That is from the windows behind me, which are south facing, so it gets lots of nice, gorgeous, bright, natural light all day long, but no direct sun. And that does also cause this plant to flower too, which mine just got through a flowering phase, but more on that later. Watering. No, these plants are succulent-like in that their leaves are fleshy and their stems are nice and thick and juicy, so you don't want to water them too often or keep them too wet because they will rot out. I let mine go dry or almost completely dry before watering again. It's usually once a week in the summer and once every 2 weeks or so in the winter time. Temperature and humidity. Average home temperatures are just fine. These plants, prefer it warmer because they are tropical plants, but they can take some cool. They just don't grow, or they don't grow at all when it's cooler. And in terms of humidity, yes, they do like it. Mine don't get too much here except during the monsoon season when all the crazy rains come. But so what I do is I use a humidity gauge, and when it gets below 20 or 25%, then I will run my humidifiers. I have 2 canopy humidifiers, one in the front of the house and one in the back of the house. Another thing you can do is mist your plant. I mist mine about every week. You could do it more often if you wanted. Fertilizing and feeding, yes, I do. As you'll find out when I go into repotting, I put some worm compost and some compost in when I repot, and then I fertilize throughout the growing season. We have a long growing season here. It starts at the end of February is when I start to fertilize, and then I will wrap it up in mid-November. It is October 8th, I think, and it's about 101 outside right now, so it's still summer. Our fall will come about mid to end November, and then it's Christmas time. So these are the 3 fertilizers I use. They are linked down below. I'll also try to put them in the shop bar down below if I can find them there. Now, I don't mix them when I fertilize. I'll use this one month, this the next, then this, and then I rotate back and forth, and that keeps my plants happy. Because we can't be adding new soil all the time, so they need nutrients, somehow. Soil and repotting. These plants like a nice chunky soil mix so the water can just drain right through. So what I do is have potting soil. I use Happy Frog. That's my preferred, Happy Frog or Ocean Forest. They're both from Fox Farm. I tend to be using Happy Frog more these days. And then I'll mix it half with my DIY succulent and cactus mix. That recipe I'll leave down below too. But it's got cocoa chips in it, and it also has nice big chunks of pumice in there, so that gives it that nice, chunkiness that they like. And also I will throw in a handful of compost and a handful of worm compost. And for the repotting, like other things, a few other things anyway, it's best done during the growing season. And these don't need it too often because I don't have a huge, root system. So I did repot this one when it fell over, and I put it in up 1 pot size, and that's what you want to do. So if yours isn't a 4-inch, go up to a 6-inch pot, but don't rush to redo it. And of course, it's best if the pot it's in has drainage holes so that water can flow out. We're going to talk about pruning, so I zoomed in a little bit so you can see. I don't prune this plant too often to take off the occasional leaf or maybe a stray stem, but I filmed this video and then I realized my external mic was not plugged in, so I'm going to put in the old clip that shows me tip pruning it so you can see, because I've already done the tip pruning. Here are the pieces I got down here. So that clip might have a little different sound. So we're just gonna put this over here, and then we will insert the other clip right here. Here we go, a little close up so you can see that gorgeous foliage. We're gonna talk about pruning. I really don't prune this plant that much. I take a few dead leaves off it, and you would prune it just to keep it in shape. These do tend to break easily. I'll show you a branch that broke off soon when we get into propagation. But what I'm going to do is I am going to tip prune it. So say for instance, if this was bothering you being long, you could cut it off and propagate it, because they do propagate easy. But what I'm going to do is just tip prune it, and this is what tip pruning is, just to encourage a little bit to see if we can get some fuller growth and maybe stop this from being so leggy and crazy. These I'm going to leave because I don't mind the height here, and these stems are nice and full. But I think I am going to do a little bit of tip pruning over here too. So like for instance, just right here, just that part there will help to encourage some fullness. I can't see because my dress is a distracting background here. Here we go, just making a nice straight cut right above a node there. And this is still the growing season for us. That's the best time to prune. Now, if something breaks off your plant and you need to fix it in the winter, that's just fine. You know, I'm just talking about the best time. And let's see, I don't think I got this one. Those aren't too bad. And it's hard to tell, it's so full right there. And then I'm going to take that one off right there. Now for propagation, which goes hand in hand with pruning, because you usually have to prune to propagate, unless you are dividing the plant. Let me show you that, because this plant has multiple stems in it, so you could try to divide it. It could be tricky business because you could lose some of the stems, but that's an option for propagation. The other way that I've done it is stem cuttings in water. I like to root in water because you can see the action, or you can put them in a light mix, or you could also root a leaf cutting also in a light mix, and that would work fine. But I want to show you this particular one here because it broke off the plant the last time I was showing it. And here is, I don't know if you can see the roots going right there. I can't see on the viewfinder, but this stem broke off about 15 days ago, and that is the rooting action there. And I just have it in this little jar, and this is a node here that the roots are coming out of, and then I keep the water up to about the next node. You don't want to keep the water up to here. So they are very easy to propagate, and who doesn't love that? Because we all love plants. So flowering, yes, these plants do flower. My baby rubber plant across the way has a few flowers on it. For me, they start flowering in mid to late, summer. This one just got through probably about a week ago. It wrapped up, but I'm going to insert a clip of the flowering portion so you can see what the flower looks like. And mine has flowered every year since I bought it, but that's because it gets that nice bright light, and that's what peperomias need to flower. My my watermelon peperomia flowers, my baby rubber plant flowers, my ripple flowers also. So it's that nice bright natural light that they love. So as you can see, the flowers or the flower stalks aren't too showy, but they're really fun. I really enjoy it when the plant flowers and it stays in flower for a while too. Anyway, on to something not as pleasant as flowers, and that is pests. Now mine have never gotten any pests, but they are susceptible to mealybugs, spider mites, and scales, so keep your eyes open for those. We have done blog posts on all those. You can see pictures. We've also done aphids and fungus gnats and, as I said, spider mites. What else? Or root mealybugs, all that. So check out our blog at joyousgarden.com to find out what you can do about them also. Now we're going to wrap this up with pet safety, because I know many of you, like me, have pets. And these are non-toxic plants. Yay! Many plants are toxic. Many plants outside are considered toxic too, but these are non-toxic, so you don't have to worry. It could make your plant. It Could make your pet a little bit sick if they chew on it too much and swallow it, but it's not going to do them in. So that's another wonderful thing about this plant.